I am tired of 3D movies. Feels like they don't want to be more creative nowadays. I really do miss the 2D animation era. Didn't think that way a few years ago, but now I do. 3D animation got its first impact with Pixar with the movie Toy Story back in 97 or so. And don't get me wrong, Toy Story is amazing. And if you watch the movie today and Pixar recent movie, gosh, the evolution, kinda scary to be honest. But all studios today only do 3D animation movies, and they kinda look the same. Similar character design, environment, there is no innovation in them anymore. Sure, they get better at animating hair, water, etc. for each movie. And don't get me wrong, some 3D animation is very beautiful. Example, the water in Disney's Moana, lovely movie, or Sony's Spider-Man animated movies. I cannot come up with more because none of them stand out in my eyes. I did mention that most character models look very similar with each other. Just look at Disney and Pixar. It feels like they are too afraid to try something new. Yes, they are pretty much the same company, but duh. Something new did Sony do with Into the Spider-Verse. The comic style of animation just hit different in my eyes. They tried to be different. They tried to be unique and they hit the home run. And because of that movie, more studios started to explore new elements. With all these 3D movies and shows, I started to look at old Disney classic movies like The Lion King, Aladdin, among others, thinking, gosh, I miss this. Where did 2D animation go? I did hear when Disney failed with their last 2D animation, Winnie the Pooh, they gave up on it. But just because people didn't watch that movie doesn't mean people don't want 2D animation. When the first 2D animation from Disney came out in 1937 called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, everything was hand-drawn on a piece of paper. Yes, everything little frame you see is done by hand. So yes, the work put into it was a bit more than what it is today. Today we have all these amazing programs that can help us speed up the process. With each year with 2D animation become better and better too. They started to get help by computers etc., but it was still hand-drawn. Today, if they make 2D animation, they have a program to their help. No need for paper anymore. If you don't want to work with that, of course. And because I draw myself today, I might appreciate those 2D animation more than what I did years ago. And all the work put into it. Example, I just love to see Aaron Blaise do animation streams using paper. It just looks relaxing. And you learn a lot. Yes, he used programs like TV Paint to do his animation today, but just a fresh air see him work with paper. I don't do animation myself, would love to do it sometime. I do own an advanced course in animation by Aaron Blaise, but should probably buy the more basic one first. I've done some animation in DaVinci Resolve, but that is more like subscribe button thing that I used on my videos before buying from Motion VFX. And the animation stuff in DaVinci Resolve was not easy, so I gave up pretty early, and it's not a fully animation software, not in the way you animate movies with. Have not tried any 2D animation programs like TV Paint, but that might change when the new app Procreate Dreams comes out. Just watching their keynote made me wanna do animation, even if it's just the background moving a little. I will still be happy. From one thing to another, subscribe to my newsletter The Howling, where I share my art journey to become a freelance artist with ADHD, ASD and mental health problems. Also write original stories about my original characters. And don't forget to join the Discord community where you can share your own art. Back to the podcast. So, do we have any 2D animation today? Gosh, I mentioned animation a lot in this podcast. And answer is yes. Have you ever seen the Christmas movie on Netflix called Klaus? That is 2D animation and it's super beautiful. I watch it every December. 3D Total even had an interview with the Spanish studio in a recent character design quarterly magazine. Arcane do have 2D elements in their series, based off League of Legends that came out on Netflix in 2021. They use a lot of 2D environment backgrounds, a really beautiful style of animation. Disney's new movie Wish might have similar elements, but we have to wait and see how it really looks when the movie releases. Other than that, not many use 2D elements anymore, not in movies. For series, on the other hand, yes. Disney still do DuckTales in 2D, but the style they use today is awful in my opinion. It's the bad creative style that Cartoon Network used years ago. I don't like it. I want the old school animation like Timon and Pumbaa had, the similar style that Disney classic movie had, not the weird stuff. To be honest, I don't like that weird looking style at all, not even in illustration. I don't call it art, I call it garbage. It doesn't feel they put their heart and soul into the art. Sorry if I offended you, but that is how I see it. Other things that still use 2D is anime, and I am happy they still do, both in movie form and series. Maybe you think you can't evolve in 2D animation, and that is so not true. You can sure evolve in 2D. A good example could be Digimon. If you watch the original series back from 1999 and then the reboot from 2020, you can see the evolution in 2D animation. And then you have DC Comics animation, movies and series. One area DC Comics does something amazing. An area Marvel is far behind. I love watching DC Comics animation movies. The recent ones like War, Throne of Atlantis based off the New 52 is really good. And the newer one is good too, even if they changed the style a little bit. DC Comics even have one of my favorite series, Young Justice. A series they gave 2 seasons, then kills it. Gives another 2 seasons and kills it again. Just stop, okay? So you see, 2D animation is still around in small places. I just want it back on the big screen. And I know I'm not the only one thinking this. Or at least I hope I'm not the only one. But I still need to ask you, what do you prefer watching more? 3D or 2D animation? Leave a comment. Until next time, happy drawing!